All right, there we go. Recording's going. So while I get everything up and going, let's hear what's our wins of the week. Wins or successes from, could be anything, could be related to the program, health in general, or just something going on in your life. Love to hear about it.
I ate more eggs for
Awesome.
breakfast. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
Taking action.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Watching what you eat.
Yeah, I've been tracking my food. So yeah, it's like then you really have an awareness because you don't like writing down the things that yeah. So I'm trying to track it, but you notice it more when you have to write it down because like, I'll take like a handful of whatever or do I don't know what, pizza. I had to write down 3 slices of pizza and yeah.
How small
then,
are these slices? I have a hard time believing that you can eat 3 slices of pizza, Melissa.
You did the pizza. We had our movie night the other night. Yeah, I did.
I've had clients tell me in the past, tell me before, like, Deepak, I literally put it back because I didn't want to write it down.
Yeah.
So
well,
that,
I mean, like that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's not the intent of the exercise. But hey, Melissa, I don't know if you've strung a week or two together, but yeah, we could certainly do the hot seat like we did with Eva last week if you're interested. And
Yeah.
Doris came in. Welcome, Doris. But then you disappeared. Oh, you're just bent picking something up. Okay. You're okay though, Doris, right? You haven't like hurt your back or something?
Yeah, I'm okay. Just looking
Okay.
for something.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. All right. Let me Dan, did you have a win?
I went to the gym twice, Saturday, Monday. I got another month membership at a class is one that I like to go to.
Okay.
So
And the boys going with you too?
no, this is just me. Melissa and I went.
Yeah, with you.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So starting to get into a bit of a regular pattern of maybe at least a couple times a week, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Doris, any wins, successes from the last week?
No, this past couple of days, I've been having some neck issues. I've been going to see a chiropractor.
I have been suffering with a neck thing since we were away, and then you're sleeping in a different bed with a different pillow and not in the regular routine, et cetera. And I got a bit of a neck thing going on right now. It's getting better, but I went to the chiropractor too and last week. Yeah, that's what on Thursday, right after our class, I had to go right to the chiropractor. So wishing you the best on that because that is annoying and potentially painful. So all right, let me share my screen here with you guys. So okay, so we are here. We're week 6. We're wrapping up our nutrition, and we are going to be focusing on supplements today. So we did our share already. We're going to talk about supplements, the basics, a little bit more, and then we're not doing the food log hot seat today. So we'll just see where we get. And yeah, and I have, and I'll share it at the end. I do have a nice discount for you on one product. My usual discount is 10%, and for a couple days, they're running a promo. It's 20%. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So supplements, and I just realized I didn't grab my speaking notes. So something here. I got too much stuff on my desk. Hidden sources of stress, my desk. There we go. Dan, tell us a joke while I get ready.
Oh. Oh, I don't know if I know any good ones for here.
Family friendly, please. Family friendly.
Well, there's something interesting here where there's a hotel that's really high, like a really tall building. And there were 2 guys sitting at it. And one guy said to the other guy, you know that if you drink a whole bottle of vodka and you go to the top of this hotel and you jump off, you fly right back up because of the air drifts, the air vents at the bottom. And the guy said, I don't believe you. And he said, watch. And he said, bartender, 2 bottles of vodka. So the guy goes, all right. and gives it to him. The first guy, they go up to the top, and the first guy drinks it down, just one, one big drink. Jumps off. Just he's about to get to the bottom. The guy's expecting splat, but no, goes right back up to the top. And the second guy goes, man, that's amazing. So he drinks his bottle. The guy goes, your turn. So he jumps off, splat. And the first guy goes back downstairs. And the bartender goes, Superman, you're a real jerk when you're drunk.
Good one.
I forgot that I had heard that one before. I was like, where is this going here? And then I'm like, oh yeah, right. So
And
yeah.
yeah.
Ariel just came in, so let's give her a second here. Ariel, I don't know if you can hear us yet, but you're lucky you came late. You missed a terrible joke by Dan, so you don't miss anything. You can hear it on the replay, I guess, if you want. So
Oh, well, I'll turn into the replay for sure now.
okay. Before we get started, then success or win in the last week?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with my diet.
Well, hey, it doesn't have to be about this program or anything else. Just
Okay.
any success in your life.
We survived. We were dealing with Thursday. I wasn't here because the electrician was here, because on Wednesday our breaker box started crackling and making weird noises, and we didn't have power in some parts of the house. So Thursday and Friday they were putting in a new breaker box. So that's been exciting.
You have full power now? You have full power
What?
now? Do you have full power now?
We think. We're not sure. They put fancy breakers in, and we're not sure. The light in my husband's office keeps going out. It's a fluorescent, so it might just be the fluorescent light, So we're still, and we have other work to do. The outside box has to be replaced because whoever put it in a really bad one that has had all kinds of lawsuits associated with it, and so it has to be replaced.
So Ariel, is this a success or a tragedy story? I'm getting
It's a
confused
success
here.
because we have power. You're right.
Okay, awesome. You have power. I love it, and
We have
I love the background you got going on there today. Live your message lab, I think is what it says. Awesome.
Oh, my goodness,
cool.
I can't see what I've got up. I better change my view.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So let's get into it. So actually, before I say this, obviously I think we just came up last week or the week before. Supplements is not the end all be all, right? That as the name implies, it's supplement. It's to supplement your regular diet, right? So again, we want to try and get as much whole foods, nutrient dense foods as possible, but also, with our modern farming practices, monocrop agriculture, are like the food no longer has the same level of micronutrients that our parents or certainly our grandparents had when they were growing up. So we almost need to supplement now to some degree. And again, it's going to change. It's going to be dependent on many factors, including what we eat, and even our lifestyle and even our genetics as well. So what I'm going to be talking about here today are, just the supplement basics. When I work with somebody one-on-one, we go really deep. We do genetics and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to high level here. But typically, this is what I see most people are deficient in. Certainly, most people in the Western world. So number one, magnesium. So benefits include improved sleep, reduces stress, improves mental performance, can relieve constipation, improves your immune system, reduces muscle tension, strengthens bones and joints, relieves pain, headaches, reduces anxiety, and increases energy. Like Eva brought up last week, she started rubbing it into her, started to use your feet or your legs for sleeping. So that's awesome. I use magnesium as well. And Ariel, before you came on, I do have a discount on my preferred magnesium product. I'll share that at the end, and they're having an extra special deal for the next couple of days, so you get 20% off. So it's a pretty good deal. Now, to be aware, there's many different forms of magnesium. Magnesium used in our body, and gosh, like 400 different processes in our body, and different forms work on different processes. So I like to use a broad spectrum magnesium, and again, the one I will talk about at the end is the reason it's my preferred is because it is a broad spectrum, has all the forms of magnesium that you need. Most will only have one or two, most are just one, and it's usually magnesium oxide or magnesium stearate. Those are kind of like cheaper ones. Now, do they have some benefit? Yes. Are they going to give you all the benefit you want? No. So again, I would try and avoid those. Yeah, and I'll talk about my preferred brand kind of at the end there. So moving on, vitamin D, again, which, I mean, we're obviously talking about a supplement here, but vitamin D is actually a hormone that our body produces itself once we get sun shining on our skin, but we can supplement with vitamin D. So benefits include cell formation, bone health, heart health, skin and hair health, reproductive, vascular and respiratory health, immune system, again, digestive system, eye health, mood, helps with aging, weight management, and even sleep. So a typical pill that you might, or gel cap, or whatever the case may be, that you might pick up at your pharmacy or grocery store, what have you, is usually 1 to 2,000 IU or international units. And I can talk about what I take and whatever if anyone has any questions. But I just want to mention that about 20 minutes of sun exposure with at least 40% of your skin exposed, so let's call your arms, legs, back, etc., can provide the equivalent of up to 40,000 IU. So again, when you're supplementing 1 or 2,000, it's really just kind of a drop in the bucket than what you would get naturally if you were out and about in the summertime, getting natural sunlight, etc. For those who are low in vitamin D, my mom, I'm not sure if she still is, but at one point, she was low and she was actually prescribed, and she was getting shots, intramuscular shots, and she would get 10,000 IU. So again,
Ooh.
you can go pretty high if you're deficient, and maybe this is a good point. So in the summertime, I will take like a maintenance dose of like 2 to 4,000, more so usually 2. But in the wintertime, as is right now, even though, even when it's super cold here, like today, it was actually sunny, but again, I'm all bundled up. I'm not getting any sun exposure. I'll go up to 6 to 8,000 IU. So I'm a huge proponent of vitamin D for all the benefits that it does have. Next, I'll move on to vitamin C. The benefits include antioxidant, its immune system, joint and artery health, adrenal support. They say that the vitamin C levels in an organic orange are half of what we traditionally would have gotten from an orange from, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago, again, because of our farming practices. So again, kind of, you almost need to supplement for some of these things. And again, that was kind of on oranges, but you would think that it would be very similar to other vitamin C rich fruits and vegetables like peppers and kiwi and things like that. I would say from a cost benefit perspective, vitamin C is like the cheapest vitamin you can get. I mean, you can get, and of course there's always quality, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But if there's one area where you're like, just need to get, reduce the expenses, get the least expensive one you can get, it's probably vitamin C is the one to go for. So biggest bang for your buck for sure is vitamin C. All right, and then next is zinc. So the benefits include immune health, reduces inflammation, helps with estrogen balance as well. It's believed that 25 or greater than 25% of the world's population is deficient in zinc because we don't get it in our diet, and typically it would come from like mussels, clams, oysters, that sort of thing. And again, I don't eat that too often myself, so I supplement with zinc. And you can get you can test if you're deficient in zinc. It's like a $5 test. Even here in Canada, it's like a $5 test. So it's very simple to get that tested to see if you do need to supplement with zinc. I don't have a list on the screen here, but quite often zinc and copper work together. And a lot of times the higher end supplements will combine zinc and copper together to take it. And I sometimes take that. But sometimes I just take zinc as well. And again, going back to our discussion on salt from 2 weeks ago, I believe, you know, my or maybe it was last week, the salt that I use has trace elements, and I'll get a tiny bit of copper in there as well. So, but again, it's we need to test and we need to understand ourselves. So again, this is kind of just general sort of comments here. Next, I have omega-3s. You know, the benefits include it's anti-inflammatory, cellular health, combats depression and anxiety, improves your sleep, eye health, brain health for sure. We've all probably heard that. Bone and joint health, and even heart health as well. And your best natural food sources are going to be wild-caught fish, or for people who might be vegan or vegetarian, or just want to even add more, would be algae like spirulina or chlorella, and these type of sources. You can get some benefits from walnuts, flaxseed, and chia as well, but it's not as high and not as bioavailable as eating, you know, quality fish. So I kind of alluded to with vitamin C, but when it comes to supplements, you know, quality is important. You get what you pay for, and you know, again, vitamin C is one of those ones where, you know, if we're going to get the big box brand, and I'll be honest, you know, if you rent right now, like the vitamin C, the big tub I have is from Costco, right? Because again, it's like that. If there's one place to, you know, where it doesn't really matter, it would be vitamin C. Whereas, you know, my vitamin D, my magnesium, I'll show you in a second. So that's where I'm going a little bit extra to get a quality product that I know is, you know, bioavailable. I'm going to absorb it. It's in the right doses, you know, all these sorts of things. So before I move on to supplements plus, maybe this is a good, nice spot to just take a moment to stop and answer any questions on just a few that we've discussed thus far.
I have a question about vitamin D.
Okay.
I have heard, where I heard from? I've heard it from the gentleman that runs a shop in town that sells supplements and holistic stuff. That if you're taking really high quantities of vitamin D, you shouldn't take it every day. You should take it once or twice a week.
Sorry, did you say high quantity or high quality? I just didn't quite hear.
I mean high IU, really high units. So that would be high quality, right?
Not necessarily. You can take a lot of garbage, right? I mean, you know, let you just put it in different context. You know, you could eat one filet mignon, or you could have 5 packages of hot dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You know, so this is my take on it. I sort of agree, and it's kind of hard to fully answer without sort of the more context. But let's use. I'll just go back to my mom, for example. You know, she's getting prescribed by her doctor like a 10,000 IU shot.
Right.
She's not getting that every day. She's getting that once a month. Right.
Okay.
Whereas
But that's a shot.
That's a shot. It's intramuscular, you know, so it's a different delivery mechanism than orally taking or some sort of topical or something like that. I'm more of a proponent, unless you're battling something or trying to overcome something, where you might want to do a little extra dose. But we're talking about vitamin D specifically. I'd be more inclined to take a smaller dose every day, especially if you're taking it orally, as opposed to a big bolus. And then, you know, because again, absorbability, you know, there's only so much will be absorbed at one time, and vitamin D is fat soluble vitamin, so you need to take it with food or some fat source. The one that I take is encapsulated in olive oil, like a real quality olive oil. So I just get the fat with it. So I do take it with food, but I mean it comes with its own fat source. So I'm more of a proponent that way. I think you're kind of wasting, and this probably goes generally for a lot of supplements. If you take too much and you're like, oh, I'm only gonna do it once a week or every third day or something like, but you take like, you're averaging out, if you took it every day, it would average out, but you just do it only 2 or 3 times a week. I think a lot of it's not going to get absorbed or not be beneficial. So I'm more of a take the dose down and take it every day. But again, it depends what we're talking about too. So vitamin D would be one of those ones. Vitamin C would be another, where I'd be like, zinc would be another. I'd like, yeah, take it every day, but in the right dose. Great question. Great question. Any others?
Yeah, I heard that, for a while there, omega-3 9 was the big thing, but my eye doctor said it actually causes inflammation. And just to do the omega, curious why they were.
Eva, you cut
popular
out there.
and
You cut out there, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh,
If I understood, and maybe I have it backwards, or maybe omega-3 cause inflammation. Omega, I didn't hear. I'm going to say omega-6. I'm guessing. I don't know if that's what you said. Is anti-inflammatory or?
omega-3 6 9 is the causes inflammation, I've been told, not the omega-3.
Yeah. So it's okay. So our bodies need all of these omegas, right? We need the 6s, we need the 9s. It's when we have them in excess that becomes a problem. When we have that, so let me take this. When we have the 6s and the 9s in excess, that's when it becomes a problem. So when you have these industrial seed oils, you're getting a lot of your 6s and 9s, linoleic acid, particularly deep fried foods. Again, it's coming from that, packaged foods, all these sorts of things. That's where we're getting too much omega-6s and 9s. So from a supplemental point of view, and I thought this too way back when, is I was like, oh, I'll just do shotgun approach. I'll get the the one that has omega-3 369, right? That's and then and going through my own challenges and working with my medical team, my naturopath, they're like, you're getting enough. You don't need this. This is actually too much. It's actually causing more inflammation. Now, yes, we need all of these, but it's always the ratio is always typically people are getting too much 6s and 9s in their diet. So I wouldn't supplement with 6 or 9 at all. You're just probably likely going to get it all through normal eating. Even if you go out to eat once a week or whatever, or have a little something here that you're going to get it. So I think only really omega-3 needs to be supplemented.
Okay.
Yeah, and I take I think you said last week, or was it you even who said that you take? Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, I take it daily as well, and I try and put in a little fish here and there as well, but it's not something that's huge in our family's diet. So yeah, I supplement with omega-3, 2 tablespoons minimum every day as well. So yeah, great question, great
Okay.
clarifying question there. Dan, Melissa, Doris, any other questions before I move on?
What do you think about taking krill oil for omega-3?
Yeah, krill oil is good. I think there's some evidence that suggests it's okay. We're going to always assume everything's quality, right? Let's make that assumption that krill oil will be even more beneficial than your regular omega-3. But then you get into that cost. Krill oil is typically more expensive, so then again, that's a decision we all have to make. I'm happy. I have a quality omega-3 brand. I've tried krill as well. I prefer, there's no right or wrong here. For my omega-3, I prefer liquid just for absorbability and that sort of thing. The krill oil that I have taken, again, it's from a quality company, but was a capsule. And I was like, yeah, okay, but again, it's a cost thing. So I'm like, if I can, save whatever, 15-20% on that one thing, I'll choose the quality omega-3 over the krill. So I think krill's fine. It's just we have to make that. It's typically more expensive, so it's a decision we have to make for ourselves and in the entire budget of our supplements, and that's a subset of our entire budget of our nutrition plan as well, right? So krill's good. The other thing that's really high is roe. So fish eggs, super high on a I guess gram or size per ratio benefit. Like roe has actually the highest, but again, roe's super expensive, right? So great question, Doris. Dan, Melissa, any questions on the ones we've talked about thus far?
I was going to talk about multivitamins, but I'm not sure if you'll cover that later.
I'm not. So let's just handle it now. Do you have a specific question, or just do you want my general take on them, or?
Take a multivitamin each day, is that going to be beneficial? I'm not sure that I eat healthy enough, so I know that you said that eating healthy is the #1 thing, but then sometimes this can supplement. But I was I'm just taking a multivitamin each day and not sure if is that a benefit? Is it not a benefit? Does it really matter? Yeah, your thoughts on that would be helpful.
Yeah, so I think it goes, I'll start with the quality again. So most of the, grocery store, what brands or pharmacy brands or whatever are really they usually don't have the right amounts of what you need in there. The ingredients they do have are typically, I don't want to paint every company with a blanket brush, they're typically low quality, and there's a lot of fillers and things in them, typically colorings and stuff like that. So that's the problem with those. I am a fan of taking a multivitamin. I'm actually like out right now and I have to like order some. So I do typically, when I'm not out, take a multivitamin every day, and it kind of gives me that little bit of a shotgun approach of those, like selenium as an example, right? Yeah, I can take a couple of Brazil nuts and probably meet my requirements. So, eat a handful of Brazil nuts, or manganese, and again with my salt, I'm getting a little trace elements, but probably still not enough. So having a quality multivitamin as a way to sort of like shotgun approach and get some of these other ones that are not the main ones that I'm not necessarily going to buy a whole bottle of selenium and manganese and et cetera, et cetera. So a way to get some of these other things. Typically, again, the vitamin C is going to be like, why bother? Like, why'd you even put this in here? It's like not going to do anything. So yeah, I'll have to supplement with a vitamin C. If they have vitamin D, again, it's going to be like, this is such a low dose, it doesn't make any difference. So, so to answer your question, I think that's a good approach. I'd just be more than the thinking becomes, what's the, again, within our own budgets and everything like that, what's the best brand or the best quality that works for you?
And do you have a brand that you suggest?
Yeah, the one I have, and I don't have any sort of affiliate code or anything like that, but I've been using them for years, is Pure Vitamin Club. I'll just drop it in the chat there. I used to have an affiliate thing, but I don't anymore. All right, I'm not sure
I
if
have a
that's too...
question on multivitamins.
Yes.
One of the ladies that I have worked with before, she said instead of taking the multivitamins, she suggested I take beef liver capsules, because they said that mostly the multivitamins are synthetically made, and the beef liver is low. I mean, you get almost everything, and it's all more natural. So,
so a couple thoughts on that. So your beef liver capsule can also be synthetic. Let's just put that out there. So I'm going to assume the one you recommended was a natural brand that was actually like a desiccated liver, or other, it could be even thyroid in there, or and other adrenals, et cetera, like that. But even just say it's liver. So yes, I don't disagree with you. You're going to get a lot of the stuff in there, particularly your B vitamins. That's a great way to get B vitamins, and you'll get some other stuff. I don't think you get enough vitamin C, but I mean, you can take that and supplement with just vitamin C or whatever. So that's not a bad approach. I've actually quite thought about that myself. I've never kind of went to, not to replace my multivitamin, but more for adrenal support, thyroid support. Not that I have any issues, but I don't want to have issues as I get older. So that having that type of thing is something I've thought about. I haven't looked too deeply into it. So, but you're right. That could be. I guess I would just really, take two, and do a comparison. Am I getting enough of what I actually want from this, whichever product we choose? And if it meets checks the boxes for you, then that's a great option. Yes, Ariel.
I had one other question. Is there a grouping of supplements that are really good when you're coming down with something? We used to take echinacea, garlic, and a B vitamin, but I don't remember which B it was. But I'm wondering if there's my sister takes zinc and D and A when she feels like she's coming down with something. And she takes higher doses than usual.
Yep.
Try to stave off or help it. Is there any combination that you find works?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and some we're gonna Yes, let me go back. I'm trying to think we cover some of these here. No, I think it was in a different presentation. So to answer your question is, I'll speak kind of my own experience, and this kind of, I think, answers your question as well. So again, I have my certain things I take, you know, every day, and some things I cycle through. But if I feel a little something, so I think that's a good. I mean, it also goes with how well we're sleeping, how well our nutrition is, our movement, like that's all goes into our immune support, right? But if I feel a little something's coming on, I'll ramp it up, and I'll like, I don't want to get sick, right? So I'll add 50% more vitamin C than I already take. I already take enough zinc, so I don't really overdo zinc, but I'll throw some echinacea in there. I'll throw some elderberry, or I'll alternate that. I have yet to find I mean, we cook a lot with garlic, so we eat a lot of garlic naturally, but I have yet to find a garlic pill that doesn't repeat on me. So I'm like,
Oh.
I don't do garlic, but I'll take mushroom tea. You know, and I'll add that in, or even sometimes just in the winter when it's a little cold and I'm just like, I just want a hot beverage and it's well past coffee time, I'll just have a mushroom tea for the immune support. And I mean, yeah, we can talk about that later, but I'll take a broad spectrum mushroom, you know, tea that has like 12 different mushrooms all blended in. So I get a little bit of shotgun approach again, you know, from that. But Doris, you might be able to help me out here. I think reishi and cordyceps are really good for sort of the immune support.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that, Doris? Right?
Oh, also on garlic, there's a company, Kyolic, Kyolic. They make aged garlic pills. It's recommended by one of the natural cardiologists to take one a day. So I've been doing
Yeah,
Kyolic, Kyolic,
yeah, that's a good brand. That's a good brand as well. So
aged garlics.
yeah, I just like, you know, and I just prefer to cook with it, and you know, I think that's a good segue to one of the other supplements that's coming up. So any other burning questions? Otherwise, let me get back to the presentation. We'll have lots of time at the end.
Okay.
Dan, Melissa, anybody?
Sorry, just about thyroid medication. I take a natural.
Supplementation, not medication.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well then it's not. This is medication question. I'll leave it to the end.
Okay, okay. So sounds good. Because I'm not giving medical advice here. I'm not a medical doctor. All right. So that was supplements. Now let's talk about supplementation plus. So prebiotics. So again, you know, supports our immune health, reduces inflammation, helps with estrogen balance. So our prebiotics is things like you know, leeks, onions, artichoke hearts, things like that. The foods that we eat that are the food for the microorganisms, the bacteria in our gut. You know, which are essentially the probiotics. So again, probiotics, anti-inflammatory, cellular health, you know, combats depression, anxiety, improves sleep, eye health, brain health, bone and joint health, heart health. You'll notice a lot of these supplements have multifunction, and you'll see there's a lot of overlap between some of these. So there's more than one way to, you know, I'll just pick on heart health, for example. You know, there's many different supplements one can take, all for heart health. So we gotta, you know, one, if you have a heart condition and you have medication, make sure there's no contraindicators with that. But also too, is like, you know, you can take from a more natural point of view, you can layer and try different things, and you know, sometimes things work, you know, slightly different pathways or different mechanisms for a particular body part or otherwise. And then curcumin. So kind of back to the garlic question, we just like cook with a lot of garlic in a lot of our dishes. Same with curcumin. You can take supplements. My kids have curcumin like gummies, essentially, so they can get it in. My wife will take a pill once in a while. If I'm really something like I have a little ache or pain, I might take a curcumin pill. I'd prefer, and I don't really like it, I prefer to just cook with it. And we sneak it in even when we're not cooking sort of Asian dishes or East Indian dishes. We'll just sneak curcumin in. I'll just give one example here, and you can, you know, figure out how it might work into your own lifestyle. But when I make my homemade spaghetti, you know, onions, garlic, Then I put a touch of curcumin and a little bit of black pepper to helps the curcumin be a little bit more bioavailable. Then I add my spaghetti sauce. Then I add all my Italian seasoning, my oregano, and all that, and my basil. You don't taste any of the curcumin or anything anymore after that. So it's again a way to like sneak it in type thing. Now, is it am I putting enough in my food to be sort of what's what I'm looking for? A high enough dose for pain relief and everything? No, but it's just a way to get it in, have some constant curcumin in. But again, I said there's a little something, a little whatever, tweaked my back or neck strain or whatever the case might be. Then I'll take a curcumin pill or whatever. And again, it's just part of my kid's regular thing. Again, just it's anti-inflammatory. So here's just another quick thing. I never had a ton of acne when I was growing up, but the little acne that I did have at the East Indian store, and I don't know if they have it other places, you get like basically like toothpaste. It's like curcumin out of a tube, and I just put a little bit on and I'd rub it on my zits again because it would dry out the skin. It's anti-inflammatory. So that's essentially what my acne program, medication, whatever you want to call it, was. But again, I didn't have serious acne as a kid. Yeah, so there was something else I wanted to share. I feel like I'm missing some notes here. Anyway, let me stop the share, and then Dan, you had a question, and then let me find my other note here that I wanted to share while you ask your question.
Just regarding, I have Hashimoto's, which is basically my thyroid. I don't know, my immune system attacks my thyroid production. So I take a what's it called? I take a thyroid medication, but it's one that's a natural derivative of pig thyroid. Just wondering if you've heard anything good or bad from taking the natural supplement or the natural medication or the one from the pharmacy.
Well, you're getting that from the pharmacy though, like your doctor prescribed it, right?
Well, yeah, not in Thailand. You don't get anything. You don't have to go to the doctor for anything, but yeah, basically.
Okay. So, but
I
it's not a synthetic. It's not a synthetic like Synthroid or something. It's a more natural. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's right. It's not Synthyroid. It's yeah.
I think in general, anything that's more bioidentical or bioavailable, I guess more bioidentical, I guess the more proper term here, is a better choice. So yes, more natural. In your case, and again, certainly talk this over with your medical professional, I probably wouldn't be supplementing in addition to with the medication you're on. That doesn't say supplementing couldn't improve, but it could also do the opposite. And like it's a very fine kind of balancer that you should work with your medical professional on that. But if they put that on there, I wouldn't go and take like Doris said, take I mean she was talking beef liver specifically, but like a beef thyroid supplement or something like that on your own. I'd be pretty careful with that. I mean, something to talk about and say, hey, they'd probably more likely say, well, we can just up your dose or up or down your dose depending on the case. But I wouldn't go overboard, or I wouldn't add anything to it just at first glance. Yeah. Does it have that answer your question? Awesome. So what I did want to share, so let me ask you this question here. We got about 20 minutes left. The last cohort of this program, what we did on this week on the Thursday in the Q&A period, and some people found this helpful. So you guys tell me if you think this is a good idea. It's completely up to you. As I brought my whole bag of like supplements in and I went through one by one and like, this is what I take and this is why I take it. And here's the dose level. And again, it's not a recommendation. It's just that's just Deepak, but maybe give some inspiration or again, spark some questions. Would that be useful to you guys if we do that on Thursday in a Q&A session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So just going back to, so I dropped that in Pure Vitamin Club in the chat there. So I use their multivitamin and I use their vitamin D. I'm actually out of both right now and I need to reorder. I used to use their magnesium, but I've replaced their magnesium with this brand, which I shared, I think, last week by Optimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. So Bioptimizers has a ton of products, and I use a variety of them. I have a discount. Full disclosure, I'm an affiliate of theirs. You know, if you buy something, you know, I'm going to get a couple nickels or whatever. But my code gives you 10% off. But right now, for certain products, including all their sleep products, which magnesium is classified as till the 9th. So that's what 4 more days. Yeah, 20% off. So again, it doesn't matter to me if, you know, I'm not gonna make millions if you guys buy a bottle of magnesium or whatever. But hey, it's pretty good discount, and it's the magnesium we use in our family. So my kids don't use it because they can't, their tiny little girl throats can't swallow a pill. So they have to take gummies or like a powder or whatever. But this is the magnesium me and my wife use, and I got my mother-in-law and my father-in-law using this as well. And again, it has all the forms of magnesium. That's the reason I switched. So Pure Vitamin Club has 4 forms of magnesium, which is pretty good, better than most. This one has all 7. Excuse me. So that's why I switched. Price-wise, they're pretty comparable. I think Bioptimizer is just like slightly more expensive, but not materially. And yeah, if you buy it in the next couple of days on a 20% discount, or even any other time after on my 10% discount, like it evens out. So
Is that a Canadian club?
Doris first, Ariel next. So Doris, can you repeat yourself?
Is the Pure Vitamin Club Canadian?
No, Pure Vitamin Club is American. Both these brands are American,
Oh.
and they're direct to consumer. So that's why they can have higher quality at comparable prices, because they don't do a ton of marketing. They're not in your grocery stores. You have to order directly from them. And yeah, Pure Vitamin Club is based in California. Bioptimizers, I'm not sure where they're located.
Because I'm taking the magnesium.
Nevada.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm taking a magnesium with 7 forms in it, and they're pretty expensive.
Yeah. How much, if you don't mind me asking?
I think like almost $50 a bottle, I think.
Okay, this will be cheaper for you, and it's really good quality. So Ariel, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just asking if you could put in the chat how to get in touch with Bioptimizers using your code.
Yes, absolutely. That was going to be the very next thing. So thank you for that. I'll drop the link and my code. And again, I'm just trying to be of service to you guys. If you buy somewhere else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It's not going to impact my life. An extra $2 of commission. Hold on.
Count.
Sorry, what was that?
Every little bit counts.
It does. It does. So I know this is a super long link, but just click on that, and then
Thank you.
here's the code. It's just DPAC 10. But during this, for the sleep products, which the magnesium's one, during this period until March 9th, code should still give you 20% off. And I don't want to make this Bioptimizers commercial, because that's not the intention. But what I will share is, so again, they have a full spectrum of products, and probably 50 different products. I only use a handful. I use their magnesium. I use their, which I shared last week, their enzymes for breaking down sort of meat and dairy. I use their enzymes for gluten. It's called Gluten Guardian. I have their, what is it now? Hold on. Oh yeah, it's they have a parasite blend that I have. So again, rarely, but if I'm traveling to Mexico or some third world country or something, and like, I don't know, with the water, or even a salad or something, well, that got washed in the water, right? So or hopefully got washed. Right. So I'll have that on board just in case. It's not like I take it like, oh, I ate something, so I'm going to take it. It's like, if I'm feeling a little weird or the stomach's gone, then I'll take that. So I have that on board from them as well. But yeah, they have like nootropics, so like kind of brain supplements type of thing. I've not experimented with those. I'm totally open to those, and I've used those from other companies, not there specifically. But again, they have a lot of SKUs. They have 50 or 60 different products, so all sorts of things. Excuse me. But I think their magnesium's top notch, and when it goes on sale, I just talk to my wife, talk to my in-laws, and we'll buy like 20 bottles at once.
Mm.
And then we're good for a bit. So anyway, that's all there for you. So happy to share that. And again, for anyone watching the replay, I'll email that all to you all as well, because Mary's not here. She's going to watch on the replay. So I want to make sure she gets the code as well and all that sort of thing. So that is pretty much sort of the supplements, what I want to talk about. We got 14 minutes left. Let's just open up to general Q&A. And I think I got agreement from all of you that it'd be a worthy exercise on Thursday to just, there's no right or wrong. This is just what Deepak takes. This is what Deepak has in his pantry, and we can just talk about them one by one type of thing. So, okay. But until then, any questions I can answer for any of you?
I'm wondering about when you buy supplements and they go for a while, are the dates on, what happens if the supplement is past the date on the packaging? Do
That's
they
a great
still work?
That's a great question. Yes. This is my personal take. I've never really seen anything hard and fast, like scientifically proven, double-blind study, blah, 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 anything like that. I think supplements and a lot of other products that we do too, I think you have a good grace period after that date on the bottle where they're still perfectly 100%. And I think for supplement, I think again, quality supplements, I think that's probably 6 months to a year, easy. Once you get past that, I think the efficacy starts to decrease. I don't think it's like, like, I don't know, whatever this thing is like. I'm just gonna make something up here, right? No, actually, it's August of 2025 is the date on this bottle. I'm certainly gonna use it well before that, but it's not like September 2025. This is garbage. Right? Like maybe by 2027, it's garbage, or 28, it's nothing, right?
Okay.
And again, it's not, if it's sealed and everything like that, it's just a degradation over time, really. And of course, if they're open and they get oxidized, that's going to degrade like anything else faster as well. But I think for supplements, again, quality supplements, I think you're good, easy, 6 months, a year past. So yes, there is something to not buy too much in advance, more beyond, just like, I don't know, if you're going to Costco or Sam's Club or whatever and buying whatever it is you're buying, like, I don't know, 5 liters of mayonnaise or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know if they sell that, honestly. But like, if you're not going to use it in a certain time, you probably shouldn't buy it. It's just going to go to waste anyway, right? Or whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think, another thing you can do as well, just like coffee, and some other things where you should probably, or your nuts, you should probably store in the fridge or freezer. I think I don't, because my fridge I sometimes joke with my wife. I'm like, could we get a second fridge in the basement, and like, so I could basically put all my supplements in there? She's like, that's dumb. We're not doing that, right? So
It's not exactly. We had a large family and we had a second refrigerator. For a time, we had a third.
Yeah, but Ariel, you were like, what? You were 15 people, right?
Yeah, but if you're talking supplements and medications or anything like that, there is you can get all kinds of different sizes.
Oh no, for sure. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
So I've joked with her that.
Freezer,
So point being is just from to your original question of like how long things will last.
Mhm.
If you have the capacity, which we don't, I don't, I would put all my, so we have a wine cellar. So it's a cool room. So that's where all the
Mhm.
supplements go that are not actively being used. I'm not running down every day to the basement to take my dailies, right? So there's some in the kitchen. And then everything that's not used is in the cellar. But I would actually like to have it colder in the fridge. It's just, that doesn't work for us right now. So point being, if you're going to buy some stuff, maybe because of this, I'm just using an example, this 20% discount, you're going to buy a whole year's worth of magnesium, put the last 8 or 9 months in the fridge if you can. It would help with preserving, for sure, just like it does with nuts and it does for coffee and that sort of thing as well. So great question, Ariel.
Is there a good time that you should take your vitamins? Do you take them at different times with like morning, evening, or there's some that work better before you go to sleep. I guess magnesium, right? Probably good to take that. Maybe
Yeah,
before you go to
so,
bed?
you know, this brings up something else I thought about whether I should bring up or not. So some people, and certainly these guys, and obviously they have a vested interest, right, in selling magnesium, right? They would suggest that if you've never taken magnesium before, you're probably deficient, and I would agree with that, that you should like do this kind of a loading phase where you're taking a little bit and taking like, you know, multiple times a day, spread out evenly for the first couple weeks, and then to the point where you can get to just like a maintenance dose. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't think that's detrimental. All it will do is cost you more. Um, and magnesium, like a few other things, you know, your bowels will tell you if you've overdone it, right? You'll run to the bathroom, if, right? So I don't think that's necessary. So again, yes, magnesium. I think for this, if you were going to double dose, or not double dose, but like take 2 times, probably first thing in the morning, kind of set your day up. And then definitely for bed, for all the sleep properties and that kind of thing. So, but if you're only take it once, yes, definitely take magnesium in the evening. Depending if it's a water soluble or fat soluble vitamin. Obviously, a fat soluble vitamin you want to take with food. So again, I used to take a lot more, excuse me, supplements than I do now. I've actually pared back. So I'd have to like literally just try and space them out because it's like hard taking 40 pills at one time, type of thing. And I don't take that much as much now. I still probably take 20. But whether they're, because some are fat soluble, some are not, and I just try to take them with my first meal. So for me, that's again depends. You know, going back to the fasting, is it noon? Is it 11:30? Is it 2? Whenever that time is, I take that. And then I take some after, just before dinner, and then my magnesium and my vitamin C I'll take before bed. So, and so I do have vitamin C in my multi, even though I said I'm out right now. If I'm feeling a little something coming on, like to Ariel's question earlier, I'll take some vitamin C a couple times throughout the day. I'll take like a gram, a couple times a day, but my typical is a gram or 1.5 grams right before bed, or relatively close to bed, and then my magnesium right before bed. And the reason I'm taking my vitamin C again, it's you know, autoimmune immune booster. So while I'm resting and digesting, I want my body to like be able to really work on that. So that's why I take my vitamin C before bed, and of course the magnesium as we discussed. Other than that, you know, kind of whatever sort of works for you. If someone's on medications, you know, certainly have a conversation with your doctor if there's any potential conflicts there where you might have to take it away from your medication or what have you, type of thing. I sauna every day. I do infrared sauna, so I am doing a lot of sweating, obviously in that. So I like to keep my, not that I think it's a huge problem. I think there's some potential for losing the absorbability when you're in that state of kind of a heavy sweat session. So I tend to try and keep my supplements like get at least an hour before I'm going to go in the sauna, like take my supplements beforehand, and then afterwards I'm not worried about that. So, but I don't think that's really super proven. I have this sense that that's what happens, and I think at some point a long time ago, one of my mentors probably said that, and I was like, oh, that makes sense, and I just adopted the practice. So yeah, Doris, you had a question?
Yeah, you just mentioned about using this infrared sauna. So I have a question, right? I bought one, but I haven't used it yet. So the portable type. So do you take binders after you go into the sauna?
Okay, you bring up a whole nother question here. So
I'm sorry.
I'll talk
It was
about
you brought
binders
it
in
up.
the 5 minutes that we have left, and then I'll talk about my practice. So if you're doing some sort of like cleanse or cleaning, or you want to sort of like I don't know, detox, I guess is kind of the right term, your system, and then you would take binders. Activated charcoal is one. I have activated charcoal. I travel with it because again, you know, kind of back to my like similar to the parasite pills, less so seriously. I might just like, oh, I just had maybe I drank too much, or, because I'm in Mexico and they can just keep pouring the tequila or whatever the case may be. Like I might take some activated charcoal just to like help flush the system out. Any binders, activated charcoal included, will just grab all your other supplements and minerals and just flush them out. So you can't take anything else with
Mhm.
them. So again, kind of got to pick your spots and when you want to use that. Activated charcoal is kind of like my favorite binder to use, and I use it a lot less often than I used to. I think so more just it's just a function of lifestyle, and I'm not doing the things where I think, oh, I better clean myself up as much as maybe I was in the past. I do not use a binder when after or during or anywhere around the sauna session.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm already getting enough of a detox via the sweat. I don't feel I need to do that. Plus, I don't want to strip anything. Whether it was an hour or 2 hours before when I had all my other supplements, I don't want it to get caught up and pulled out. And I just don't see the need for me personally to use a binder while I'm doing the sauna. Now, if a client of mine was going through some sort of protocol or was struggling with certain conditions and they had access to a sauna, that we'd have to look at that, but I don't, to answer your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, couple minutes left. Any other questions?
Do you ever get sick of having to take all those pills? I know I do. It's too bad they didn't have just one for everything.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. There's a handful of companies, and one that I actually like the company and the main service they offer, and then the secondary service is to basically sell you supplements. And I think they do probably quality stuff because they are a very trustworthy company. But their whole thing is, okay, so let's just take a step back. So their whole thing is genetic testing, and I've done their genetic testing thing, right, and what have you, and a huge insight and whatever. I know that's an advanced thing outside the scope of this program, but one thing what they offer secondarily is like, hey, based on your genetics, this is what you should take if I was always look at the diet. Right. So like, oh, you're probably, if you don't eat that, you're probably you're a poor absorber or whatever. And then they sell you the solution, which is their pill, which is actually supposed to be customized to you with like everything you need. And it might just be one pill. It might be like 4 pills, but give you exactly customized what you need. I get the rationale around it. I'm just like, I don't know about like all in one type of thing, and I don't know if you're getting the right doses. And again, it kind of depends. So again, vitamin C, right? We don't have time talking about today. Can someone please remind me? Let's talk about the RDA. What do they call it? What is it called?
Recommended daily allowance.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Recommended daily allowance. Let's talk about that on Thursday. So they're going to give you you'll just use vitamin C as one example, really. Is it okay if we go 2 minutes long, guys? I know Stitches. Is that okay if we go a couple minutes long?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the RDA for vitamin C is essentially so you don't get scurvy. I don't know about any of you. I'm not concerned about getting scurvy. I'm not traveling on a ship across the ocean for like months at a time, et cetera, right? Like that's literally what it is. So many of the RDAs for many supplements are like ridiculously low. And vitamin C is like probably the worst, the most egregious one there is, right? So whatever, like 100 or 50 or 100, milligrams is like, it's like, okay, yeah, great. I don't want to just not have scurvy. I want to thrive. I want to be exceptional, right? We're all here for healthy aging, right? Again, not everyone necessarily wants to be a centenarian like me, but we all are here for this goal. So let's take a proper dose, right? And again, we can spread it. And I'm just a huge proponent of Linus Pauling's work. He won the Nobel Prize on vitamin C and high dose vitamin C. So again, I try and space it out, and as well as supplementing, as well as eating vitamin C rich foods. And I've certainly done vitamin C IVs before, where I'm getting like 10 to 20 grams intravenously, to, again, if you're battling something, or even preventative, if you're going to do a lot of international travel or something like that. So I'm a huge proponent. So what was the original question? I forgot. I went on a tangent here.
The
I forget.
RDA.
No, RDA, but what got me to think about RDA? I can't remember now.
Oh, because taking all those pills.
Oh yeah, taking all those pills,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, yeah, to answer your question, Eva, I guess that would be the last thing I say is it does. I mean, that's part of the reason I kind of cut back a bit. It's like, yes. And some of these things too, there's certain, and again, it's kind of more the advanced stuff outside the scope of sort of this general course is like, their longevity, things for longevity. It's like, I can't quantify them now, right? It's like, if I take XYZ or a combination of these three things, maybe I'll know in 20 years that they worked. It's hard to quantify now as healthy young men now. So, and again, there's an expense to it. There's a cost to it. It's like, buy this or do I do something else type of thing. So I've scaled back. That doesn't mean I don't take those things, but I'm a little bit more, I cycle through them a little bit more. Instead of taking all 5, I'll just take, one on one day, not take one, take another one, etc. But then the basics that I did share today are basically the ones I take every day. Those are my sort of non-negotiables. That's not saying that's necessarily for you guys. I would strongly recommend that, but again, we have to look at those things in conjunction. And really, besides Eva and looking at her food log, and I looked at Doris's sort of lab work type of things. I have more data to like make more recommendations than from the rest of you type of thing. So to answer your question, yeah, it does get, it's like, okay, I gotta take 5 here, and then just kind of, at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna take these, and then at 2, here's my 2 o'clock pills, and then here's my 5 pills, and here's my 8 o'clock pills, and here's my right before bed. Like, yeah, like when you're taking 40, you gotta, it's kind of space them out because it's hard to like just chug them all. So again, I cut them down to about 20 now on a daily basis, or something like that, 15 to 20 on a daily
Okay.
basis. Yeah. So,
Thank
all
you.
right. Great conversation, everyone. So I'll email you everyone the code again, so Mary has it as well. And on Thursday, I'll bring the whole bag of stuff, and we can go through it and just use it as discussion points. Sound good?
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great
Have
night.
a good evening.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.